Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the transfer deadline day special powered by Snickers Protein, who are helping fans to get excited about football during the transfer window. Yeah, we're trying to get excited. But at the moment there's very, very little to be excited about in terms of Everton, because it doesn't look like much is, well, it doesn't look like anything is going to happen on the incoming. Baz is, look, I mean, you see Baz, he's on the phone, just texting his missus what he wants for his tea. Because to be fair, that's probably maybe the most exciting thing that might happen to Baz tonight, I imagine.
Snickers.
You know, but we'll wait and see. What are you chatting over there?
Saying he wants Snickers for tea.
Okay. Don't make it so obvious. I mean, Baz is not in a very good mood. I don't know if you've noticed this. He's not in a very good mood. In fact, I don't even know if we should have him on there, on the couch. He's in that bad a mood, following on from Saturday's performance and the fact that Everton have not materialised any deals today. So I honestly don't know how much he's going to talk in this video. He might just sit there on his laptop, just being very quiet.
No, come on, what are we talking about?
I don't transfer deadline day.
How
bitterly disappointed are you that Everton haven't brought it? No, you are, Baz.
No, I'm not.
You're bitterly disappointed.
No, I'm not bitterly disappointed.
You are.
I'm not. I'm flabbergasted how unambitious we are.
Okay, that sounds like bitter disappointment.
Are you honestly surprised?
No, nothing surprises me about our club. Nothing. Football, isn't it? We're good at being a mid-table nothing club.
That sounds like bitterly disappointed. Come on, let's get it out. Let's have a session. Listen. There's two ways to look at it, right? And I've got. Let's talk about it, right? Because Everton have come into today, right? Or come into the month. Everton today have got rid of Cenk Tosun, John Joe Kenny, Jonas Lossell. Bernard hasn't gone. He's staying. Right? So you would look at those players and you go, right, there's not much, that they don't really matter. They haven't played, but blah, blah, blah. That's fine. You can look at it like that, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can look at it like that and say, that's fine. We're not replacing any of them players, so it doesn't really make a difference. But the other way of looking at it is, Everton are 6 points off the top four with 2 games in hand. And it's not even down to the bare bones. This is what we've got. The bench that we had on Saturday will lose John Joe Kenny.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll replace him with Alan coming back. So
yeah,
that fills that space. That was 1 down, by the way, with 2 goalkeepers. And
we had 8 subs, didn't we?
No, that's what I'm saying. So we had 1 down and 1 was a goalie. And now, so what you're saying is, as a club, is that's fine. We're okay with that. Now, it's all right to look at the other situations and say, well, that team are not getting strengthened, and that team are not strengthened, and that team are not strengthened above us. But the point is that if you want to be better, if you want to close that gap, if you want to win games, if you want to turn to the bench when you're 1-0 down against Newcastle United at home, or Leeds United at home, or West Ham United at home. Look at United. Have we only been beaten by teams called United at home this season? We have?
We have, yeah.
There's no more United at home, is there?
No.
Yes. I've just realised. That's weird.
Yeah. 4 home defeats all teams.
5? And United twice. Right. If we want to be better, should we have gone out and brought someone in so that at least now the manager can look at the bench and go, I actually have got choices here? Because otherwise, we're not really competing, are we? We're just shuffling the decks. Said this loads of times. We're just moving the cards around. They're exactly the same cards, and we're just moving them all around and hoping to get a good hand out of them. And I think that would be my disappointment from this window, and certainly from today, that there has been an opportunity, and I'm not talking, by the way, about a Bailey or anything, when someone who's going to come in for 25-30 million. I do feel like there was a few little options out there, even on loan, that could have come in and just boosted the squad, even if it was a loan with an option to be bought in the summer. I do feel like there could have been. And we've got rid of Balassi, we've got rid of Walcott's wages. we got rid of Sniderland's wages before the season even started, and I know we have brought in 4 players. But you look at that squad and we are very short. I mean, if we were to have any kind of injury situation, it would put us under real pressure, especially if it was to come around now, because of the amount of games we have in very short, small amount of time. So, from that point of view, it is a little bit worrying. Like,
I think in other areas we can get by, we can cover. You know, the defensive areas you've got, 4 centre backs. But we've played them all of late when we've had our best results. And then on top of them too, you've got Niels and Kunku, who's a reserve player basically.
Yeah.
But you've also got James Coleman, you've got Luca Dean into that. So you've got 6 good defenders. You've got Kunku there as well, potentially. So you've got 7 lads who can play. And you've obviously Terry Smalls coming the other week against Sheff Wed. So you've got players in and around the squad who can cope with that. And a couple of those defenders who've played fullback can also, I guess, could play in midfield, either Holgate or Godfrey if you needed them to do his job there. With that, then into midfield, you've obviously got Tom Davis, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Andre Gomez, Alan Decore, and you've got Fabian Delph, whether people, but he's there, so you've got cover there. Wide areas, Iwobi and James. But then on the left, you've got Richarlison and Bernard, because Bernard's not going anywhere now. And we're left with Dom up front, and that's it. Now, they might turn around and go, well, we've got Richarlison can play up front, which means Bernard will play on the left, so we're all right. But there's no freshness to it. There's don't forget, Bernard was going. It's only that for whatever reason, personal terms or agents' fees or whatever, that deals fell through over the weekend. Otherwise, Bernard was gone as well. So Bernard's not someone they're really looking at and going, we want to, you're a game changer for us. He's there because we haven't been able to get rid of him. So you're looking at that and going, well, there's no freshness there. If Dom does get injured onto Richarlison, who's got 2 goals from open play this season.
Yeah.
Or 2 Premier League goals, not from open play, 2 Premier League goals, 1 penalty, and 1 was at Leicester. So he's not exactly flying.
No.
And if he was playing, he's not exactly playing well either. But, it's the goals that we're missing. But there's no way to change that. And I just feel like when you've let, from September, Moise Keane, Yannick Bolasie, whether you like him or you don't, Cenk Tosun, Ellis Sims,
Walcott,
and Theo Walcott have gone out of Everton's squad, 5 attacking players. And if you can't find me alone, and we know that there was a couple of things bubbling today that haven't come off, alone, that pays, can fit. I see, I'm not a financial man. I don't know if it works like that, right? But John Joe Kenny's gone as well, and this Jonas Lersel's gone. So we're talking 7 or 8 players have gone out the squad since the summer transfer window. Are you disappointed that it's because Bernard hasn't gone? It's meant that we've been stopped from doing business. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's how it seems, because if Everton have got players who they've identified, and why is it dependent on this player going out? I don't, I'm seeing other teams that are getting players in on loan. Listen, there's not amazing players around, don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's not like we're bringing in Kylian Mbappe or Jadon Sancho or someone. But there is players around who can help out. And it was like the weekend, we said on the final word, you're 1-0 down, or it's 0-0 and you're looking to try and win the game or freshen it up, and your options are Tom Davis or 19-year-old Anthony Gordon. Coming back into our first team squad is Alan, that's it. There's nobody else. It's not like, Fabian Delph might be back for 2 weeks and he'll be gone again. But Alan's the only player that's coming back in. And he's not like he's an attacking player. So I just feel like to lose 5 attackers. All right, Ellis Sims wasn't, been on the bench a couple of times. It wasn't like he was banging on the door. But in an emergency, he was a body. He was someone who could play up front. He was someone who could maybe come in and nick a goal. You don't know. But it just feels like It feels like
we're treading water.
Yeah.
But with a brick attached to our foot. No, it does though. It feels like I'm sitting here and I wasn't really expecting anything today. It was only that you told me that there could be an opportunity that I got a little bit excited. I wasn't really expecting anything today. There's always that outside hope.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me years ago, I think it was about 2012 actually, and I remember you were like, Moises gone home. They've turned the lights off, and I remember that being the first time I was really disappointed on the transfer deadline day. And normally now I'm a little bit like, you know, it's one of those things where, like we always say, it's like you get your business done early. You're still always a little bit annoyed on transfer deadline day. It's one of those things that's been created in this thing. But it does feel like just looking at that bench on Saturday that we are just a little bit away from where we need to be. And it just feels like that we're going to be treading water till the summer, when maybe we can go out and buy a few players, but at the same time, this is still a season. This season's still ongoing, and as much as I sit here going, you know, it's not. I've said on, you know, it's not real to me without fans. It's
no, it isn't.
You see with the results, it's all, but it's still a real season. There'll still be a real winner. There'll still be 4 teams who qualify for the Champions League. There'll still be, you know, 3 that qualify for the Europa League. The opportunities are still there. You know, some people will say maybe we'll never get a better opportunity. I think if we never get a better opportunity in this year, then we really aren't going anywhere. We really aren't trying to succeed. But the question has to be: is Carlo Ancelotti on board with this? Is he on board with what's happening? Does he understand? Is he got his blessing? Does he want players? Maybe. But is he just of that nature now that, you know, being around the game for so long, had directors of football, had people who tell him, no, you can't have another player. He's not. He doesn't seem like, certainly not at this age, that he's one to stamp his feet and get angry about not getting what maybe he wants.
No.
He's got a job. He does it day by day. He don't think he might have, I don't know, for all I know, might have grievances about not having the players, but he's not the type of he's the type of person who just wants to get on with it. Who knows? There are other factors, of course. We know that from the share issue, that Fad Mashiri was putting money into the club to make sure they had a clean balance sheet for when the stadium got the green light, and, you know, the financial situation from all that. So there is all that. There is obviously the COVID situation. There's obviously the financials that we've just come off that weren't particularly good. So it is good for the club to be prudent. I don't think anyone would disagree with the players that we've got rid of in terms of sorting out the wage. You know, we all wanted Cenk Tosun to leave. We all wanted, you know, Yannick Bolasie to go and find somewhere else to play. We want players who aren't playing to go and play somewhere else. Yeah. You know, and if it means they go on loan and then hopefully that leads to a payment, then so be it. We all want them to go out, but I think we were all open that just to give Carlo Ancelotti something to move forward with.
Yeah, it's just frustrating because I feel as though we could have. It's just that opportunity where we're right in what we always say: if we can get the other side of Christmas and we're still in with a chance, you know, we're still quite close to like a Champions League place or whatever. Whether that bears out by the end of the season, you never know. But you want to be in there, don't you? You want to be fighting for those Europa League places. And listen, we might be lucky, and Dom might not get injured, and Richarlison might start scoring goals again and be fit. Yeah. And Iwobi keeps his form, you know, picks his form up, and we get through the season, and we get to May, and we've had a clean bill of health in general, and it's worked out all right, and we go, brilliant, we've qualified for Europe. Wasn't that lucky though? You know, let's now add to the squad. But just right now, having seen the way the last week shaped up, those 2 games, and having no real options to change it, and then, you know, sitting here with 5.5 hours to go, and it looks like nothing's going to happen. It really is frustrating because we might have got someone in who gave us a little spark and got us something that ended up us qualifying for Europe. MP to Chef Fulham have made a move to take Josh King on a permanent deal, which is you know, great, isn't it? That other clubs are able to do it. So, I mean, listen, I'm not bemoaning the fact that we're not getting Josh King. I just mean other clubs are looking to try to strengthen, and it seems like for us that it's come to a frustrating bump.
Well, someone like Josh King is a player who is out of contract in the summer. I don't know what Bournemouth want for him, but he'll be expecting decent wages because, you know, if he does wait till the summer, he'll get decent wages. He's a player that, certainly for someone like Fulham, he'll score goals for them. Could be the difference. Could be the difference to keep them up. I suppose from Everton's point of view, Everton have to look at it and say, is there a player we can bring in which will be the difference between us not getting Europe and getting Europe? That's the difficult part, because that's never a question you can answer. Because if you think you are at a decent level, is it ever going to be just one player unless they are amazing? We've seen last year when Man United obviously went and got Bruno Fernandes. He was the difference. He got them the Champions League, but he's different class. You know what I mean? He cost them 65 million, and he's different class. We were never in the market for a Bailey or someone like that. So it is difficult, and that's where Everton might turn around and go, it's not going to make much difference if we bring this one player in but we don't always look at it like that, and that's, yeah. I suppose the frustrating thing is, as well, is we've mentioned Ellis Sims a couple of times, is that if Ellis Sims had stayed, and this is the thing, and had got on the bench, started getting on the bench more regular, maybe started getting 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, I know he's going to, I don't know what he played for Blackpool at the weekend, and obviously he scored two against Wigan last week. Obviously he's going to get more of an education, but would he have got more chances being on the bench at Everton and coming on now and again when we have to take Dom off, say, or whatever? Or is it going to aid Anthony Gordon's progress because he's going to get more minutes on the pitch? Is and Yongo going to get more time on the bench now and leading to more time on the pitch? The worry for me is there's not really, you don't really hear of anyone else knocking on the door in the under-23s, certainly not on the forward positions, who will make a difference. There's no one really there. There's some in the under-18s we know of. I mean, obviously Dobbin's injured, isn't he? And out for the rest of the season. So, you know, I wouldn't... Yeah, it's just really difficult. I think this is where people find... Because the club aren't very transparent, and they don't have to be. That's fine. They're not sitting here need to tell us everything that's going on. But sometimes you just feel like, it's just frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's annoying. It's annoying, but what can you do? What can we do? Yeah. So I mean, looking around, obviously people have gone out today. Later, like you said, you know, John Joe's gone up to Celtic on loan until the end of the season. You can see him moving on to Burnley then from there because they're really interested in him. So, you know, we have got some out. Tosin gone to Besiktas, and obviously, you know, it looks as though he'll probably end up staying there, won't he? No matter what he does. But so it's frustrating. I understand people will be saying, well, Tosin's hardly done anything and isn't good enough. I get that, but he's still a option, isn't he? Or he's still a body to go in and do a job or rest, you know, give Dom a rest. So it is frustrating. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. There's like 600 of you watching. Takes a sec. Just give it a little thumbs up.
Is it more now? It's going to be really interesting now, I think, looking at how the bench is going to be made up now, because you allowed 9 subs. Now, we only had 8 at the weekend, and 2 of them were goalkeepers, as we said. And it might only be 1 goalkeeper this week. Not going to have John Joe on there, not going to have Cenk Tosin on there. So it's going to be interesting to see what that makeup of the bench is going to be, whether he does start bringing younger players in more regularly to fill the spots, or whether he leaves it because he's not that bothered. But then coming up soon, just to add to that, you've got the concussion subs as well coming, haven't you, soon? So it's going to be, it'll still be 9, won't it? But there is that thing that you could put more players on if you needed to. So you would want to fill the bench, I would imagine. Yeah. Which you would want to anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see how that makeup of the bench is going to be.
Other stuff's gone on today. Sammy Khedira, who every reporter had signing for Everton in the start of the transfer window, joined Hertha Berlin. Back to Germany.
Good move for him.
Maitland-Niles, who's another one who was linked with Everton early on, wasn't
Yeah.
he, in the transfer market? He's gone to West Bromwich Albion
Yeah.
on loan. Liverpool have brought in one centre-back in terms of Ben Davies and Kabak from Schalke, depending whether they can agree terms with Mustafi, apparently. If that goes through, Liverpool will get Kabak in. So they're bringing a couple in. I mean, not loads has gone on this month. It has to be said.
No, it is tough because obviously with the with COVID and everything, the Andre Yedlin has gone to Galatasaray.
Yeah,
On a
Newcastle
permanent
moving in.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not loads going on, but
Got to keep. I mean, Dele Alli's ended up staying at Spurs, hasn't he? Which a lot of people thought might change as it went through. I don't know.
we really wanted to be sitting here being excited and we talking about what was going to happen. Yeah. Anyway, it's part of Snickers Protein powering transfer deadline day and the whole month. They have been asking you to get your questions in #fanline on Twitter, and we've got some in. Ned, take it away.
George says, loving the show, just wondering, would you take Diego Costa for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, we're not going to, but to me, I just think maybe for the rest of the season he could have been one you looked at. But I think the problem with him is because he would probably just play like Dom plays, then it's not really solving a problem as such. It's just...
He's been good though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's an amazing
and therefore,
footballer.
I reckon Dom would learn off him. He'd learn to be a bit nastier. But I know what you mean. You're talking about it wouldn't change the front three up because he's very much a back to goal centre forward, isn't he? But then that might help at times. I don't know. You take him because he's a forward option, isn't he? But then the money's on. So it's a tough... I would take him, though, because otherwise Dom has to play. Now I hope Dom's going to have to play 19 games, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got to play the 19, and then we're in the 5th round of the
20.
Cup. Imagine if we get...
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got 19 games left, haven't we?
Finished, yeah, and then 20 with the Cup. If we get 3 past Spurs, then, imagine if we got to the Cup final, and the players are knackered. This will be the year Everton get to the Cup final, and the players are running on empty. So it's that kind of thing as well.
What if it works the other way? What if we forge this amazing...
Like David Moyes?
No, like 85.
Yeah.
Like where we forge this amazing thing and we only need, Tom Davis
players.
becomes Alan Harper. And, I don't know, someone else becomes Kevin Richardson.
Anthony Gordon becomes Kevin Richardson.
Exactly. And we forge this amazing team spirit which bonds us together. And we're talked about like the legends we are forever. What about that, Baz? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. What about that bit of positivity? You didn't like that, did you?
I did like it.
Okay.
I did like it. I was
So why are you
used to
raising your
seeing it
voice
from you. Steve Kelly says, all right, lads, hope you both well. What's happened with Bezic? Seems like no one is inquired for him. Also, with all these outs, I totally get Baz's frustration. Is there any way Everton and PSG could come to an agreement about releasing Keane back to us? If so, would you be in favour of that? I would be in favour of taking him back now. For the second half of the season.
Who was that, sorry?
Moyes Keane.
That's a really strange.
Happen.
No, but that's a really strange situation because I know, like, it was only a couple of weeks ago that we were talking about selling him. I think this is why we were talking about selling. Like, get the money now, like because Pochettino's come in, Icardi's got fit, so Icardi's playing all the games. So I don't know whether I know they got beat 3-1, 3-2 at the weekend, didn't they? So I don't know whether this will change when the Champions League starts, and he'll want Icardi for the Champions League games and Moyes Keane for the league games, because actually, he's not playing at all, and that's not a good sign when a new manager takes over. He's already got these ideas about the players.
Yeah.
So it would have actually been perfect for him to come back. I mean, it's not going to happen.
No.
But he's obviously made up his mind because obviously Ghana was available. Doesn't look. Don't know where he still might go somewhere, but Newcastle wants him, but he's not going to Newcastle. apparently he said there might have been some Premier League teams that could be interested in him, but he's obviously made his mind about some of the players. Not sure whether Moise Keane's one of them, but having him back might probably, unless they do have a plan for him more long term. So,
interesting one, though, it's frustrating in a way.
Right, okay. Would you register Mo Besic? No, I'm just throwing the question out.
Well, I'm just thinking, no, not really.
Okay.
Just because I think we're covered in the central areas, aren't we? It's the forward areas that I'm worried about. It's not really the midfield. I mean, it is, because I still want a more mobile midfielder, but someone who's more physically, demanding. He's got more physical presence about him than Mo Besic. But it's in the front areas. It's like a wide player or another striker. What am I seeing here? Matty Flint says hopefully Sigurdsson, Davis and Pickford are the first 3 to leave in the summer. Okay. Nick Palmer says that bench on the weekend came up shorter than Danny DeVito. I think we need to shed the dead blood from the squad. Surely we need a few in, if only loads to cover our weak areas. James O'Brien says big Mickey Keane in the false 9.
Definitely. Ned, drop us a hashtag fanline question, please.
Andy says, do you think Marcel Brands has done a good job? Incoming's good, but outgoing's on loan all the time, with us footing percentage of wages not so sure.
Right, so this one's an interesting one, because there's definitely going to be two sides of the story. Of course there is, right? You can only say whether he's done a good job, right, if you know what his job is, I would say. So, is Marcel Brands' job to cut the wages down? Well, it probably is. So if there's an opportunity to get players out the club, by the way, I think there was a picture going around, wasn't there, of like the team when we played Arsenal and we got beat 5, whatever it was, and he scored 4 in the first 20 minutes. And you looked at the bench and you looked at, basically, that was one of the most horrendous Everton teams you've ever seen in your life. I know he did rest players that day, but we got battered. But it was his job to get rid of all the deadwood, all of the Walsh area. He's very close to doing that now. Very, very close to getting rid of all the players that were brought in under Walsh, who've been sucking the life out of Everton Football Club. Now, if that was his job, he's done a good job, right? But the other side of it has to be that surely if you're getting rid of him at the same time, you've got to bring in players. Okay, in the summer Everton brought in 4 players, plus Nkunku. So you'd say out of those 4 players, they were all good players, or 5 players. The question is, how many did he actually bring in? James Rodriguez and Allen were Carlos. Yeah. So he probably would have done the paperwork on them.
Yeah.
The core probably would have been left over from the year before.
Yeah, I think it was a club decision, and obviously the coach and staff liked them.
So the question is does he make this? Does he dictate the transfer business we do based on what the squad needs, or does he dictate the business on the money we've got, because we're still trying to get everything down? Because like we've said loads of times, the club can't continue with the wage bill being 85% of turnover. So is it honestly, this is like anything else. We may not know the answer till we get to the summer. He might be in the summer. That might say hasn't done a good job. I don't know.
Which is mad, isn't it?
Which we don't know. So it's really, at this moment, it might seem like he's not doing a good job because players are just going out the door. We're cutting. Like I said yesterday, it's like in Moneyball. And he's trying to he just gets rid of all those players so we can play Chris Pratt. It feels like that. It's like, you're not playing him? Okay, we'll just that fella you really like? Oh no, I've just sold him. I mean, I know we're not selling our best players, but it does feel at the moment like it's just like, oh, he's not playing, get rid of him. Not playing, get rid of him. Like it's playing footy manager or something.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we won't know. I don't think till the summer. Who knows? I mean, in the summer you might get in. You might go, there's a brilliant war chest there. You can do what you want. I don't know. I think at the moment it might be a little bit raw for some people because they feel like this is the time to go and get players. I honestly don't know. If his job was to get the squad down from, what did he say it was, 40 odd players, and he said the squad was worth more now than it was when we had 40 odd players, then he's doing that side of his job. He's doing okay. He's still struggling to sell players. It's all loans again. Jury's out, isn't it? At the end of the day, the jury's very much out, because it's not something I think you can just go. We're still in the middle of a huge. It's not even like a rebuilding. We're still trying to tear the old crappy house down with full of rot, and we haven't even started rebuilding it yet, really, or whatever. So I think that's a really difficult question to answer till I don't know when.
Another 3 years if you're still here.
I don't know when.
Here's a question: are Everton letting Carlo Ancelotti down as a club by not strengthening? Are we giving him what was the point? People are asking, what was the point of paying a manager £11 million a year allegedly, or 12 million quid, if you're not going to back him? Because surely, from a business point of view, they may as well have just given it to Duncan Ferguson and gone, yeah, have £1 million a year, because we've got no money.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'm just asking the question.
Full year, basically coming up to a year of no games,
no fans. Yeah.
No fans, and everything that goes with that. We've already seen the club have been hit hard financially by COVID, and we don't know how much that is. But we know for a fact we lost 2 deals due to COVID straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Right, 2 deals. Whether people wanted Gabriel or don't want Gabriel now, hindsight's lovely. Doesn't matter. We lost 2 deals straight away because of it. And maybe we're trying to cut our cloth, and that was clear with the Gabriel situation. We went back and said, no, we're not prepared to pay the 27-28 million. We're only prepared to pay this for him. And it might be like, we might still be like that. We might be looking at players and saying, no, this is what genuinely he's worth in this market. And it's difficult because we're not bringing players in while we're trying to get rid of players. So it's not like a 1-for-1 situation, which you'd hope it would be.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even a 1-for-1 situation, because we know we need to cut the squad down. But you'd think like a 2 out, 1 in sort of situation. So again, it's dead. See, as I said before, I think Carlo treats the job like, whatever you give me, I'll work with. But that's only going to get you so far.
Yeah.
It's not going to win you. It's not going to win you the prizes.
No. It's an interesting one, because obviously a lot of people have asked that. Would he come? Has he been sold a false story? But
is it a false?
I don't understand. No, I don't necessarily think we've blagged them and gone, we'll give you 300 million a season, and he's come and we've gone, actually, we were blagging. It's 5. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's that. But I just think when you're looking at the squad, for any manager, you would go, well, you're taking 4 or 5 attackers off me and putting them on loan, getting them off the wage bill, that's fine, but I need one. I need one back in. So we've got an option. 4 players out and 1 in on a loan, to me, even if COVID has hit, even if we're struggling, we've got a billionaire owner and a billionaire mate of his. Is there no way Everton can stretch for 2 million quid or something?
Can't even talk about him.
No, but what I'm saying is, but our owner is a billionaire and an accountant.
He is.
And we can't sort out 1 loan. That's mad to me. It just seems mad. I'm sure there's great excuses or great reasons as to why, if that's how it plays out and we don't get anyone in, that's fine. But by the same token, you want your club to be, I want Everton to be the best it can be. I want Everton to be as ambitious as they can. I want Everton to look at opportunities and go, we are in with a real shot at challenging for a Champions League place this season, because it's mad. And yet we could go and get Garner on loan till the end of the season, and we could get a forward, and that would give us a huge boost. And now I know we were never going to get Garner, but that would have been real, without having to go, 30 million, 20 million, get us through to the summer, and then reevaluate in the summer. you know, and then look.
Difficult. It really is a difficult one because you never. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You get to the summer and Everton could pull out 3 or 4 worldies.
Yeah, without a shadow.
And it could happen. It mightn't happen. And then Everton turn around and go, well, this is the reason we didn't.
Yeah, and that's fine. And that, listen, like I said today, coming off the back of Newcastle, and Leicester, it just all feels a little bit raw and a little
It's
bit
all,
like.
it all, at the end of the day,
What's
football
the
is dictated by the results. Yeah. If we just come off the back of 6 points,
oh yeah, you'd be going.
We'd be sitting here with big cheesy faces.
Would have been nice to get someone, but we'll be all right.
Yeah,
wouldn't we? But the fact that I still think I would have been going. We're dicing a bit here though. We're rolling the dice. We've let him and him go out.
I agree.
The squad's getting thinner, and like you said, it's getting cut.
At the end of the day, like you said before, we're at the mercy of a player that we don't want today not leaving. So it's not even a case of. You know, he doesn't want anything. There was an option on the table, and because Bernard hasn't left, so from that point of view, it's going to be even more frustrating, and that's more frustrating if you look at that thinking, well, that was there to add to have been. So they've set up a deal or whatever, and because Bernard hasn't left, and you think we'll just go and do it anyway.
That's it, and how motivated Bernard?
Yeah.
I'm motivated to go to a manager who was like, yeah, listen, you can go and play for them, I'm not really bothered. You know, and you're going to be relying on him. You can't rely on him. He started 2 away games under Carlo Ancelotti and was subbed in both of them. So that's where the frustration comes. I understand the other bit. I understand we really do have to get hold of some of this squad and we do have to trim it. I get that. And you can sort of do that by having a player that can play 2 positions. It enables you to cut a player. And we've kind of got that with Holgate and Godfrey. They're able to play in a couple of positions so you can cut it, you know, and really trim it down. But what you can't do is cut where the quality is, and the quality is in the final third of the pitch. And we've given a player away in Cenk Tosun, and I'm not saying Tosun was good. I'm really not. But he's an international striker. And all right, if you want to go, well, he's an international striker on big money who we're not going to play. Then don't let Ellis Sims go out the door then. And do what, like you said, keep Ellis Sims and go, right, you're an option now on our bench. And if we need it for 15 minutes for you to get on and run around because Dominic's tired, you'll come on and we'll see, you know, get through to the summer. Because we could have, theoretically, we could have kept hold of Ellis Sims until today. Couldn't we?
Yeah.
And seen. And then if this other thing would have fell through, we could have gone, well, you know what? Ellis Sims is now Everton's striker substitute.
Joshua Xerxes signed for Parma. Ned, another one, please. Hashtag fan line.
Matthew says, are there any young players you think we should go after in the near future?
Any young players?
Yep.
Baz, any young players?
Young players, yeah, Jens Kajesta, Midtjylland is good, 21, centre midfield player, he's really good. The Atta, who I really like, has just gone to Monaco, it's a bit of a pity, 15 million. I also think we should be, Leon Bailey, I've said it before, 22, 23, he's one I would absolutely love to get someone like Leon Bailey in. But what can you do? There's loads of players. Derby County are losing some players at the moment because of the stuff that's going on there. And under 17, 18.
One's going to Liverpool, isn't he?
One's going to Liverpool. There's a couple of others there that Everton could go and take, you know, and get and really bring them through the academy. These are lads who've tasted the first team or thereabouts. So there's always those opportunities as well. And Everton have got to be on the lookout for more players like Niels and Kunku, who have got the power and the athleticism. And then can you hone them then? That's what we need to be doing. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you hit the like button. 900 of you watching. Manchester United aren't doing anything today, are they? See that little story over the weekend? They were going to test the water with Sancho again, but he was never leaving in this window, was he? Do you think United need anything? They've had a really bad few days, haven't got themselves into a great position, haven't they? And obviously knocked Liverpool out the FA Cup and stuff. And then they have Sheffield United at home, which is the home banker of all time. Lose it. Then go to Arsenal. I was thinking they'll beat Arsenal because that's what they do. They bounce back and they end up 0-0 there. Which isn't it? Don't get me wrong, not a terrible result, but 1 point from 6. Like us ourselves, we probably had 2 games that was like, well, if we get 4 from 6, it's all right. And they ended up like Everton. Do you think they needed anyone in this window, United?
I don't think they could have got anyone that would have really
Made
helped
a big
them.
difference.
Don't think they could have. I think. No. I think it's about blending that side a bit more together. That's the problem when you're in the top 4. It's really difficult to find the quality, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Like Liverpool are taking chances on a couple of centre backs. Liverpool have got this unique way of signing average players and then putting the tax on it and selling them for like. I know one was on loan, but the other kid will go on the sun for about 12 million quid. It's the new Gary Breen.
He is. James Santamera says 2 years plus looking for a striker and a right back. Does feel like we haven't been able to move into that direction. It's a bit mad. AJ No says rumour is Carlo's getting ready to put Ped and Baz on the bench on Wednesday along with a cardboard cutout of Gabaman, 2 keepers and Duncan Ferguson.
The funny thing is, I remember when we went to Wigan on pre-season, and we walked in and we had press, and Duncan seen us as we were walking in, and he went, "Lads, have you got your boots?" And we were like, "We haven't got any players." I was like, that was a friendly 18 months ago. And now I feel like we're in exactly the same situation. Baz is retired, of course. I mean, I think I could still get on the bench. But
yeah, you'd be all right. Defo. Jamie Crellin says, cheer up, Baz, we've got Carlo Ancelotti in charge. I repeat, Carlo Ancelotti. Think back 12 months ago, what a shit show. Well, 12 months ago, we had Carlo Ancelotti in charge.
Yeah, we had Carlo Ancelotti.
And we could go to a match, and we were all right. And
we only signed Jared Branthwaite, though.
Yeah, but look at him.
I know, he's going to be the best player ever.
No, but if
put him up front.
The 12 months ago, the transfer window to me it was one of them where you were going to be nice, but all eyes on the summer.
Hang on, 12 months ago, an hour ago, we'd just beaten Watford 3-2 with the last minute winner. We were all
bouncing
off our heads. Yeah, Carlo Magnifico would have been like #1 in the chart if we released it.
There it is.
So don't be bringing your 1 year ago.
Yeah, 1 year ago stuff.
Don't be giving us that.
Just made us feel depressed now.
Mike Barrett says, hiding back over here, can't handle the YouTube chat. Once a week is all I can tolerate. Teddy Sass says, Ped is becoming an enlightened being. I need some of that serenity. I'm disappointed Kenny and Tosin aren't sales. I'm not bothered about the outgoings because they've never been effective for us, perhaps except Walcott occasionally. We were light before the start of the season offensively anyway, and it looks like a collective decision was made to take a calculated risk. We'll have to just see if it pays off.
We'll have to. I mean, ultimately,
it's nothing we can do.
Ultimately,
we don't make the decisions. Sadly.
Gedson Fernandez has gone back to Benfica.
Is he?
Spurs, yeah.
So he didn't do anything, did he?
Ultimately, you know, it will weaken certainly the physical side of us as a club. I would imagine, you know, playing the same players for what 4 months solid now. 4 months, just over 4 months. This team is going to be playing week in, week out, in the week as well. There's not going to be much movement in the team. You know, there's only really Alan who will come in as a first teamer, and then there'll be movement within Sigurdsson and Gomez, the full-backs. The centre-backs will stay the same. Dom will stay up front unless it's Richarlison for whatever reason. So that means Richarlison will play most games. James Rodriguez will play most games. There'll be a bit of movement in Iwobi. So you are asking 14, 15 players to do a hell of a lot of heavy lifting. But, I mean, listen, there wasn't going to be much difference from that anyway. You know, I think a lot of it comes down to, I mean, I don't know about you, Baz, but I barely look at the bench when I look at the starting 11. I don't really look at what's going on anyway. But I do feel like it will be that thing of, they're not sitting on the bench. Who is sitting on the bench? And yet, someone like Tosin was doesn't come on and change games. You know, we didn't have him for the first 3 months of the season anyway. Come back in November, didn't he?
November.
The first couple of months anyway. So, yeah, no, it's.
What can you do? Julian Becerra says we will beat Leeds and Spurs. Hope you're right, mate. Ryan says, would you take 5th without a cup or 9th with the FA Cup?
Oh, 9th with the FA Cup.
Either, please, Ryan. Blue Boy Shoes, 1878 says, evening, Ned, bars from Ped. I'm beginning to hate the January transfer day. We never seem to do anything. This year is mystifying as we could do so much. Yeah, we certainly could do with something, definitely. But
what we're getting now is this is we're paying we're paying for.
We are paying for past mistakes.
For past mistakes, they've come home to roost. They're the simple fact. You can't get away from that. You cannot get away from that. The owner at some point has decided that he was not willing to put bad money into the club till he had good money into the club. Sorry, till he had the bad money out of it. He was not willing to start taking those chances again. And I suppose the only positive from this is we are very, very close, very, very close to getting rid of every Walsh signing and even Martinez signings that are not required. So that would mean Walcott at the end of the season, hopefully Cenk Tosun at the end of the season, Besic at the end of the season, Balassi is gone.
Effectively, yeah.
And then the ones that you would say, Michael Keane, obviously staying, doing well, will stay, so that's a success. And then there's the Jordan Pickford situation. So they're the only two really left. Sigurdsson, you don't want him as a starter. There's room in him for the squad. I appreciate that. And then you have to start, and then the next phase is what would have happened anyway, which is the natural sort of thing on the first lot of Marcel Brand's signings, which would be after 3 years, you would be looking to turn Bernard around. You'd be looking to turn Andre Gomes around. Mina even. You'd be looking to turn Mina over. You progress. You start trying to stack, get better players on top of better players on top of, which has sort of happened this summer anyway, with Decore coming in and Allen and James Rodriguez, and then bringing young players as well. So it's a natural evolution. The problem is we've still got all this shit that we hadn't got rid of, that should have been gotten rid of 3 years ago, and it hadn't. And that's made the whole foundations of the building subside.
Just on Gedson Fernandes, Benfica have recalled him and sent him to Galatasaray on a 6-month loan.
How many players are going to Turkey?
Gone over there. West Brom have completed the loan signing of OK Yokuslu from Celta Vigo, Turkish midfield player. He'll be available for the weekend against Spurs. City have confirmed they're not doing any business. Ben Davies looks like he's going to complete his deal with Liverpool, and Joshua Zirkzee has signed, like you said, for Parma on loan with an option to buy for €15 million. So yeah, that's basically where we're up to at the moment.
Guess who's gone to Parma?
Go on.
Graziano Pelle.
Has he? Yeah.
6-month deal.
He'd have been all right. Nearly got him a few years ago, didn't we? Pelle. Really good for Southampton, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Really good for Southampton. Fulham have offered Joshua King a 3.5-year deal. So he'll probably be on a few quid there. Make sure you giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't.
Don't forget 7 o'clock Ball Street. We'll be live on YouTube, 7 o'clock till 11, 4-hour show. Probably go over that. There'll be stuff from us over there and all the normal people. Redman, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, all the normal people involved in that. So that's from 7 o'clock. That is powered by Snickers Protein. So don't forget that as well. Ned, give us some questions, mate. You're quiet, you're scaring me. When you go quiet, I get scared. Just deal with some patrons out, come on, or whatever.
Do you want another tweet?
Go on.
Rich says, would no business this window be a failure?
Go on, Baz.
Well, yeah, I think so, for the simple reason that, like I've just said, we've took 4 or 5 players out of our squad who are attacking players, and we're leaving the manager with nothing really to change. He's got no real options off the bench to change. And if we do, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's missed a couple of games with an injury. Richarlison's been sent off and been injured this season. So if that, you know, you're asking the pair of them to play the full second half of the season without getting any injuries or without picking up any suspensions or whatever, and then you're asking them to do it by playing every 3 days, and then you've got no one really. Okay, Richarlison, you might be able to take off with 15 minutes left and put Bernard on.
Yeah.
But Dom, we've got nobody like Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the squad. So Richarlison would be, if Dom had to go off or was looking fatigued, then Richarlison have to go from the left wing up front. You know, it's just, I think it'd be a little bit of a failure personally, just from looking at it as a pure fan without taking any business decisions or any FFP Premier League rules into consideration. But it's really disappointing for me because I feel as though we could have got one in, especially with 4 going out. If no one had gone out, I'd have turned around and gone, listen, there's nothing they can do. Their hands are tied. They're trying to get players out. But when 4 players go out in the window, and you're talking like Yannick Bolasie, who's on good money, Cenk Tosun is on good money. Even if Everton have to pay half or a third of his wages, he's still on good money. You know, John Joe Kenny won't have been on a lot, but he's gone up to Celtic. Jonas Lersel, it's still a wage gone because he's moved to Midtjylland. So I would have thought we'd have had enough to bring someone in on loan just for 5 months. But it is the way it is. Any more, Ned?
I can do some patience if you want.
Go on.
Where are we up to? What are we with Gary? Gary
Mate,
Ward says, where did
on.
John Joe go? He's gone to Celtic, Gary. Gone to Celtic.
It's not been actually been confirmed that though yet, has it?
No, he's up there. It will be.
He's there now, isn't he?
It's not been, yeah, I'm saying, but it hasn't actually been rubber stamped. Neither is Cenk Tosun yet. They will be. But
even though there's pictures, well,
yeah, I mean, he was, as soon as he got on that plane, he was living the life, wasn't he?
Hayden Evans-Wood said, is Casido a missed opportunity or flavour of the month? He's only 5 million quid, isn't he? So he looks like, I mean, Brighton are sending him on loan. So even if we'd have bought him, you know, they don't think he's ready, but does look like a good player. Got a lot of energy, and I think that's what Everton's midfield misses totally. Go on.
Keith Powell says, didn't we discuss the other week that Brands shifted a lot of players out of the club? He said, was the number 40 or 70? He shifted a few players. I don't think this quite 70.
No, he was since he's come in. He's done over 70 deals,
Yeah, 70. He
shifted 70
Yeah, he's got rid of 70,
including like the 23.
That's the point. That's what I give. But that's what I was saying before, though. If that was his job, if his job was to get 70 odd players out the club, then he's done that. And if there isn't room to bring players in straight away, you know, we paid 60 odd million for four first teamers in the summer, and Everton might just think, or some people at the club might think that they've done well. The thing about people in football is, football people will always want more players. Won't they?
Of course
You always want more, even though managers turn around and go, I love working with 14, 15 players. You know, we hear it all the time from Klopp. And yet he's gone out today and got 2 centre backs because they've just won their last 2 games, and he's probably like, we could still win the league, and we're still in the Champions League. We can score goals. All we have to do is stay tight at the back, and he's gone out and bought a couple of stoppers and things that'll do them. So that's where you look at it from us. You look at it from us, and people will always want more players to bring a freshness to the club and bring something else. But Marcel Brands, I've said this a few times, and it's sometimes there's got to be an adult in the room. Football doesn't always work like that, but if that's his job, like if the owner has give him that license. Don't forget, we're only 18 months on from the last day of the transfer window, where we were getting told we were going after Zaha, and Marcel Brands apparently only bid X amount, and yet the owner was still on the phone trying to get him for another X amount. And people were like, what's going on? Who's in control? Remember we had all the Farhad Moshiri stuff with Jim White, and people were sitting going, what is going on? Why are we doing this? Why is our owner picking up the phone to Sky Sports saying James McCarthy's part of the family and he's not going anywhere and all this stuff? It was cringy. It didn't feel like we had someone in control of the club, you know, who was that director of football. Whether you like it or not, that current director of football seems to have a firm handle on the job. Now, whether you like that job that he's doing is a different thing, but he's definitely doing it in his way. It's completely different. Like we can sit here and go, we all want a centre forward. If he's decided he doesn't want a centre forward because of the financial reasons, things that we cast completely aside, that we don't want to know about, we don't want to ever think that there's no money. No, he has to think like that. I think that's where we are today. Sadly. Like we're all sitting here going, there's people desperate thinking we might still get Josh King, and yet when you really put into, he's a 29-year-old who wants £110,000 a week. That's nuts. Fulham anyway. That's what got us here in the first place. Those kind of signings are what got us here. Going paying 20 million for Theo Walcott and giving him £100,000 a week. That's what got us here. And yet we're still, as fans, we can't get out of our way. We still want that. We still want something. And Jim White's to blame. He created a monster. See, I think just this time, no. Okay, just this time. It's a bit. No, I just think it's different this time because we are really light. No, I agree. I think like midfielder or a defender or wanting something like Max Aarons, and people have mentioned him. That is a little bit like, yeah, if you've got loads of money, you can do whatever. Yeah, I understand that. Another midfielder, me saying Garner on loan is like, yeah, if there's no barriers in the way, go and get him. Yeah. But a striker or another wide player who's different. But a 29-year-old? No. Listen, Josh King is Josh King. He's a Premier League proven striker. Whether people want him or not, he'll go to Fulham and he'll score some goals. And would you have had Jesse Lingard? No, because he's not really. He's not a striker, is he? He's not what we need. Make sure you hit the like button. 1,000 of you watching. Come on. And subscribe if you haven't. Kevin Soderberg says, recall Moise Keane. We can't. Can we? We can't recall him. I don't think it's even an option. Simon B says, breaking, Riquelme's been spotted on Queen's Drive. Fair dues. Nicholas reminds people that Everton under 23 side is on at 7 o'clock on YouTube. We're all going to be watching that, aren't we? We're all going to be like, who have we got? Who have we got? Nobody even to watch. Adam Galloway says, Pedgy spot on King would be a waste. Danny Smith wants to know why we can't give Bernard a go in Sigurdsson's role. Because they think he's too light. I think. Yeah, it seems. I think the problem, and when I say too light, I think the problem is, and I think what it is it's more to do with not him creating, but him losing the ball. And that might sound quite ironic when I'm talking about Sigurdsson, but it's more to do with losing the ball. It's more to do with, like, you know, he's only a little fella. And he hasn't got loads of pace. No. So he's gonna be more likely to be hustled off the ball in that position, which means you're turning over the ball in an area where you don't want to lose the ball because it allows the opposition to break on you. So I think from a tactical point of view, I think that's why it is. Bernard's a player who's got all the talent in the world, but he just hasn't got. You bring players in of his size, and there is that thing where they won't make it, but we have seen them make it because they've just got that little bit extra. Look at someone like David Silva, but he just hasn't got that little bit extra. He's not. I remember when we brought Arteta in, and everyone was like, "We'll never make it," but he had that little Pina was the same. They had that little thing, Just that little... He had that little... He built himself up, Arteta, and battled. But it was also that, just like, he could manipulate the ball. That as soon as they got it, to just keep... But just hasn't quite got that. No. He just hasn't quite got it. And it's really sad, because I do really like him, and I love his attitude and everything, but he's just not... Breaking news. Tosin's just completed his move to Besiktas. It is a loan move. For the remainder of the season. Yeah. Shanky Dawson is gone. Oh, Shanky. Bye, Shank.
So he's in there. Yeah. The echo ran with the Al Nasser story with Bernard, but it's been we've known all day, haven't we? You're trying hard to find a buyer. See, this is the thing, it's like, trying to find a buyer for him. And now that he's gone, now that he hasn't gone, he's like going to be part of the squad again. That to me is just mad. But who knows? You're going to have to rely on him now because there's no one else, is there? Yeah, nothing really happening with any of the
Ned, questions, please.
The bigger clubs at the top.
Everton Botches says, now that we are in January and we still don't know our best team, is that something we should be worried about?
Yeah, I suppose. Managers still wrestling with what he's best to do.
There you go. It's a Geordie says class win against us last weekend. Everton didn't turn up, did they? We didn't, but then your boys were good and were well organised and hit us on the break. So no complaints. Newcastle deserved to win a game. And it's up to Everton to pick it up now from now on. Joe Briggs says, Baz, what was that TikTok all about, lad? It was done in the height of lockdown, mate, last April, I think it was, or something like that. Bored, going out my mind. It's a laugh, mate, it all happens.
Doesn't really matter, does it?
There you go. Luke Ward says, big rebuild job this summer. I don't know whether it is a big rebuild, but it's a big summer because they've got some key decisions to make. They're going to need a centre forward because we haven't got one at the club, other than Dom. We're going to need another winger. We're going to need another centre midfield player. There's 3. And then they have to make a decision on whether they want an attacking right back or not, or whether we're going to go with a more defensive right back. So they need 3/4 players in the summer. Goalkeeper's another huge decision. And that's going to be up to them. They've got to make the decision with Robin Olsen. Is he going to be the one they bring in? Or is it going to be a case of, with the midfield, Gbamin? Who knows? But even if Gbamin comes back and is fit, they still need another one. Back this week, isn't he? They still need another one who's got that size and stature, but who's actually fit and available all the time. That's what they need, so that we can swap it out. 3 to 4 players again in the summer. We'll have to see. Patrick Farrell says, do you think Chelsea were right to sack Lampard?
Yeah, for them. If it's right for them. If they've got unbelievable standards, and if a manager, Tuchel's already saying, they've told me what the standards are, and if I fall below, then I'll get sacked. Yeah. There you go. The point being is, someone like Chelsea is, the owner backs you up. The owner backs you. Yeah. I'm not. This is not a dig. I'm just saying the owner provides the money for you to go and you've got to deliver. So immediately no one can say him round to anyone else at that football club and say you haven't got everything you need. That's what's different about a club like Chelsea. So what's different about I suppose any of those supposed, well, certainly 3 or 4. Man City would be the same. Not sure you could quite class Liverpool as that. That's where they're trying to get back to. But certainly Chelsea are a club where the owner says, I will give you everything. You have everything. If you fail, it's on you. And you've got to do it in a certain... I'm not being funny. He could turn around to Frank Lampard and go, well, Arteta has won a trophy already. Why haven't you? And that's what happens at the top. Simple as that. Go on, Ned.
Let's do some patrons.
Go on.
Chris says, maybe Carlo believes the squad is in a good enough place as it is, hence no major signings. I vaguely remember him mentioning in an interview that he feels the squad is good.
As I've said before, I don't think Carlo is the kind of person to rock the boat. Certainly externally, he doesn't have a go at players after games, although he had a little go with them collectively at the weekend. Yeah, he keeps everything in-house. He doesn't really talk about transfers. He hasn't talked about transfers all month. He's been just said basically we need, we know what we need, sort of thing. And the players that he's let go are not players that have been playing. He's basically frozen a lot of these players out anyway. So, yeah, he'll expect money in the summer, definitely. I don't know whether he would have expected it this month.
Had a message in from Kane. He says, "How do you think the rest of the season will go now without getting players in after letting 4 go? Have we got the squad to finish 7th when Chelsea and Arsenal are creeping behind us?"
That's the problem, though, isn't it? When you get to this time of year, clubs like Arsenal and Chelsea. The irony is, and this the thing about Lampard is that they're full of good players. It's like the other way, isn't it? Those teams are full. Like Arsenal have got. You look at their team and go, they should be better. Not all of them, but some of you look at them and go, they should be doing better. Chelsea certainly go, they should be doing better.
Yeah.
And you do, and they make ruthless decisions, so they do better. So that when they do click, whereas Everton are like the other way around, they're punching above their weight, where Chelsea and Arsenal are not. And you do think if they click, they will finish above us, because we are the other way around, and that's why nobody ever puts us in the thing for Europe, or because they just look and think, well, yeah, Everton might have a good half of the season, but wait till they get to the bits where they're supposed to kick on. Like Leicester, isn't it? Leicester last season, they only dropped out the top 4 one day. It was the last game of the season. You know what I mean? That's why, and the top 4 had a very familiar feel about it, and that's why that top 4 is that top 4. And every year the same 4 of the 6 are put into that. It's because that's just the way it is, and that because when it comes to the crunch, when it comes to that final bit of that final running, it's who can hold the nerve, who's got the players. And clubs like Everton never seem to be able to do that. No. Be interesting to see whether Leicester do that this year. But they've shown this week, they've only got a point out of the 2 games this week, like we have. And as you just said, Arsenal and Chelsea now Chelsea have gone above us, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they have gone above us, and Arsenal are like you can feel the breath on our neck. So they're just about to take that step as well. So we're only making it harder for ourselves, it seems. But if the plan, and we've said this every month, if the plan wasn't to bring people in this month and to help players progress and build for the summer and then spend the money so next season, but I know how it feels. A lot of people feel like this is a real wasted opportunity.
It's a long process. Let's see where we finish and see what happens in the summer. Adam Smith says, and this is a long one, "I really try not to get too worked up over transfers, etc. As you know, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and frankly, there are more important things in life. But I would have to say, this time I would be genuinely annoyed if we didn't get anyone in. I know signing players who aren't the best is what led this poor squad situation in the first place. But this is different. It's not a case of we only have useless players like Tosin as backup. It's a case of we literally have no one. By my count, we have about 5 or 6 players to cover 4 forward positions. That's a shocking management. We are only in contention because we have a manager who, despite still obvious making mistakes, obviously knows what he's doing for once. Our squad and team is very poor. Only about 9 players are worth bothering with, and some of those need upgrading. And what is our scouting system? Is there genuinely no one available in the world of football who could help? Some questions need asking if we don't get anyone in."
Who's that from?
Adam Smith.
Yeah, make some good points. Hayden Evans-Wood said he's on Ball Street at 7 or later on in the evening. Good. We are on at some stage, I think, but I don't know just at what time, to be honest, at the moment, although Kieran sent me something, I think. Have a look in the emails.
Something
there.
Stephen Kelly said, rather than brands doing all these interviews to Dutch TV, this is where he should be coming out and reassuring fans about the future of the club.
Well, today would be a perfect opportunity, or tomorrow, to do an interview with Everton, a good, long interview, to put people's minds at ease about what's going on, what is the situation. But like we said before, fella's got a contract till the summer. So what can we do? You know what I mean? He's not got a long-term future himself at the moment. But it would be nice for someone to sit down at the club and go through the process of what led them to make these decisions. Because fans will get restless. Fans, of course, they will like, our squad is so thin. It's so thin. And I know it's all worst-case scenarios, but...
Elo Stack says, I always thought it was dumb to let Moise Keane go to Paris when we only have 1.5 strikers on the team. Danny Smith says, would you take Isco last minute? He's another midfielder though, isn't he? I think we need a more dynamic forward, or certainly someone who plays up there. That's just me. I mean, Isco's a really, really good player. Henry Sengel says, whatever happened to Benny Beningame? Well, he might be going to Derby. That one is bubbling under. It's not being sorted, but Derby County have made an inquiry about him today. So, David Roberts says, hi lads, great show. Any idea when the St. Domingo mug will be back in stock? Been sold out for ages.
All the mugs are supposed to be coming back in the next couple of weeks. Stickers as well. Hopefully. It's about suppliers. It's not about us. It's the suppliers, because with everything going on.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button while you're here. Thank you. 1,000 of you watching. Ned, next.
Keith Powell has said, Carlo was here less than 2 months when COVID hit. COVID hit Everton for 65 million of loss directly. We also had a loss on our PL account. However, we are the most improved club with regards to development. So there are serious signs of positiveness to take from a difficult time. Patience is required.
It is. No, listen, it is. We are totally, I understand we're in a difficult situation, and a lot of clubs, I get that. I'm not really saying that at all, and I understand that the club has to make difficult decisions, of course. And as a fan, you always want the team to just be constantly improved, don't you? That's football, isn't it, as a fan? But by the same token, when you can see a big gap in the squad like there is at the moment in a key area as well, don't forget, if you've got like a defender, who can play a couple of positions, they can do that. If you're a right back, you can, Luca Dean's played centre back for us this season, hasn't he?
Against Salford, was it?
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying he's amazing here. I'm just saying he's filled in at centre back, hasn't he? And there's things like that, isn't there? Players, defenders like Godfrey playing left back and then right back. He can go and play midfield. You can fill some holes. Midfielders can go and play full back for you. But the one difficult area of the pitch to do that is in the final third. It's hard to get players to go and be able to do it in the final third. Our makeup of our squad is we've got Richarlison, who on his day is brilliant, but he's had a poor season. Doesn't look anywhere near it. Dominic Calvert-Lewin needs goals, but he can only score goals when we create chances for him, and we're not doing that at the minute. James is brilliant, but he's got no turn of pace. He's not going to leave anyone for dead. And Iwobi's hit and miss. Bernard, we were ready to wave goodbye today. We were ready to let him go. Yeah. We've got nothing there that is going to mix anything up. We haven't got another striker. If we got a striker in who had really good movement, that was a little bit, who played on the shoulder, it'd give us something different than what Dom is. Dom's all back to goal or great in the air. We haven't got that option. If we had a wide player who was coming in who had a turn of pace or a couple of tricks to get in the box and cut things back, we haven't got that. And it's hard to put other players in those areas and expect them to do it. You can't put Tom Davis on the right wing and go on, use your skill, your pace. Gylfi can't play up there. We tried him off the left. He ends up in the halfway line, nowhere near. So that to me is the area why I understand what Keith's saying. But it's that area that will undo Everton if they can't bring someone in the next 4.5 hours, because we are then literally just on a wing and a prayer for the rest of the season that our attacking players don't get an injury. Hammers ain't going to play 19 games in the Premier League, I don't think. I don't think, you know, Dom and Richie may do, because the record suggests they do play a lot of games, but again, we're hoping. And then you've got Iwobi, who's been injured twice already this season. Now, all right, he might get to the end of the season and be great. But we're still flipping a coin with all three of those players, 4 of those players at the moment, without any kind of option.
Do you think the club knows or are thinking this is a big step back, but for a bigger step forward, let's get all the players out, see where we finish, and then we've got everything, all these wages.
Listen,
all these wages off the bill for the
Ped
summer.
said before they could be clearing the decks for a big summer. I don't know. I'm not sure that
It would be nice for them to tell us.
The money we have in the summer we'll be able to spend big. I don't know. We'll have to sell before we can spend big. There's no question about it, because the books, it tells you in the books we've made big losses. There'll be a share placement at some stage which might cut those losses down a little bit, but what we will have is more room in the budget wages-wise. We know that, because there'll be players out the door. Contracts are finishing in the summer. Walcott's and Bezic, you know, Balassi, I know he's gone now, but in generally he'll be off the books. We know, I guess we'll sell Tosin in the summer. I guess we'll sell John Joe Kenny in the summer. So if we sell Moise Keane for 30 million, if we do, he's not even playing now. He's going to have to get back in and convince Paris. But if he does, and we sell him for 30 million, the way FFP is, we could flip that and it becomes 60 million to spend then, as well as other things. We might get a sleeve sponsor which goes into the... and stuff like that. So maybe we will, but we're still then fast forwarding half a season on the off chance that we are able to spend big in the summer on the right players. It's still very much like a flip of a coin to me. It still doesn't seem joined up. It still doesn't seem like you're still climbing that ladder, even if you're only taking one step at a time. To me, it's a bit like we haven't been able to do anything, so we'll just go with what we've got and hope that it's enough. But then what if we finish 11th? 12th and 11th in
and then we go for some big players, and
then you're trying to convince people that you actually are closer to the... You know what I mean?
I'm going to go to Arsenal, who's got Europe.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's difficult, because Everton need Europe. Everton need Europe to be able to say to sponsors... Well, Europe might need Everton. To be able to say to sponsors and to players and to generate more money. You know, we get in the Europa League now, it's an extra 10 million quid or 11 million quid. And yet Everton are in with a great chance of it. And might be only need to spend 2 million in this window to get into that 8, 9, 10 million pound tournament. And we're going, oh, we're just going to gamble. And it might be a gamble that pays off. We might be sat here in May going, isn't it great? We had no injuries. Dom started scoring again. Richie got his goal score and boots back on. And we finished in the Europa League places. Everything's great. Now we can really spend that money. But just today, after what I've just witnessed last week with the 2 games, just today it feels like the wrong decision not to bring someone in if that's what happens when the window shuts at 11. If Everton haven't strengthened then.
Especially off the back of a game where we 1-0 down, we made 1 sub and it was a centre mid for a winger.
Well, we didn't have Bernard on the bench, did we, Saturday as well, because of this?
He thought he was going.
So, I'd be really good if Everton put the team news out to the under-23s tonight. I'd be really appreciative of that, but they don't seem to be doing that. So.
If what? Put the team out?
Yeah. Just so I could
Probably like just looking for some kind of players.
Might be looking for players. Scouting, going around Derby looking for players. Any more questions, Ned?
Richard Falk said, we could still get Costa after today, couldn't we? In fact, let's sign him for the derby, tell him to just smash them, bitch, let's let him go.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he wants.
AJ No says, do you think King is completely off? Looks like he's going Fulham.
Who knows? Who knows? Josh King has looked like he's signing for about 15 different clubs over the last 5 months and is still a Bournemouth player.
He's doing well. He's doing well out the day, isn't he?
He is doing well.
Eric Pirry asks, why are you dressed like a pair of burglars?
Because we've got dark hoodies on.
Eric Pirry, shouldn't be named after a chicken sauce.
Yeah.
That's my answer to him.
When you come out with nonsense things like that.
This is the Toffee TV fashion
Oh,
line.
Screech has only got weeks to live.
He's got cancer, hasn't he?
He's
only got weeks?
Weeks, yeah.
That's awful.
It's grim,
There
that.
you go. Come on, Ned, keep them coming.
Ethan Riley says, do you think it's worth us not signing anyone this window if it means that we can spend big in the summer? I would class spending big anywhere around 80 to 100 million. Depends where you want to finish the season, Ethan.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like we said loads of times, there's still an opportunity this season to finish somewhere decent spot, definitely European spot, and that opportunity's still there. But it's gonna be tough because, like we were saying before, the likes of Arsenal and certainly the likes of Chelsea, they're gonna start. Their squads are only going to get better. See, Chelsea definitely. Chelsea's squad is only going to start getting better because Tuchel will start working out who the good players are. The players will start fighting harder because that's what happens when a new manager comes in, and they'll start picking up points because they've got good players. When you've got good players, all you need is someone who knows how to put them together. Dead simple. And they have got good players. It's harder when you haven't got so many good players and you have to come up with a formula. Our formula is the low block and try and nick the wins. But that's not really progressive. And at home, it's difficult, and we've seen that. And when we try and go the other way, we can't break teams down, and we're too open, and we concede the odd goal, and we lose the game. So it is going to be a struggle, I think, to because there's so many teams out there who spend money. Premier League's like nowhere else. Teams just like because you earn so much money just by being in the Premier League. You see these teams just spending money to stay in it, and that just makes it hard. That makes it really hard. It drives prices up, and it doesn't. Yeah, there's no value. And when a 29-year-old player like Josh King is wanted by 3-4 clubs on deadline day, and his wages are like £110,000. What does that say about football? What does it say? It says that there isn't enough talent knocking around.
I think Josh King's a good player, and I think he would improve Everton because he's versatile and he's quick and he scores goals. Not loads, but he's got goals in the Premier League. Would he be my choice now? No. I mean, he's played 12 games for Bournemouth in the Championship and hasn't scored a goal this season so far, but he's not wanted to be there, has he?
I don't think he lacks talent. I just think that shows the real lack of players around at this stage of the year. You've got to be very, very clever. You've got to go out there and look for players that maybe are are fighting to come up, rather than who've already been up and want to come back.
Yeah,
you want to get players who are on the up.
You do.
If you don't necessarily make it, you can still sell for a profit. You've got to get that balance.
100%. That's the thing, isn't it? But I don't know. I mean, you'd just be looking. Clubs are just looking round now for a hit, aren't they? They're looking for someone who can do it. Someone like Fulham, if they could get Josh King, would make sense for them because they haven't got anyone who.
Well, for him, if he goes to Fulham and signs a 3.5-year deal that has got a release clause in it in the summer, let's say. If they don't stay up, then he's a free. Then he's lost nothing. He's lost absolutely. He'll still be a free transfer in the summer, or whatever or will be available for buttons, and then can go to one of these clubs and he'll start every game for Fulham from now to the end of the season. And if he scores, say, 5 or 6 goals, Fulham make chances. They just can't finish them. They do make chances, and if he scored 6 or 7 goals and keeps them up, then brilliant. If he scores 6 or 7 goals and they don't stay up, brilliant for him.
Yeah.
So that would be a no-brainer for him if he went there tonight.
Where me spoons calls him Josh Adam Kingy. Because he does look like he's
He's
just...
done more miles today in his car going around all different car parks of England. I'm surprised he hasn't been pulled over by the police for breaking COVID regs. Go on, any more, Ned, before we finish? Because we'll have to finish soon.
Ahmed says, looking at the transfer activity this window, the only player I would have wanted is Diatta. Otherwise, there has not been much quality moved around. I think the squad needed a proper cleanse, and I'm happy at the departures. We know exactly where we stand, and we have a stronger position financially for the window. He said, it's just like one division, you just got to have faith.
I mean...
Rather than faith, you need to bloody watch the other films.
Ahmed just smashed it, hasn't he? He's just put a very positive slant on it, and he's included the MCU, so that's always a positive from my point of view. Maybe that's why I wasn't so disappointed with the weekend, because I just watched one division, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant, wasn't it? So, and it repaid the faith of those people who said it was going to be amazing, and what it was. Not
only that, it finished with an outro from Jimi Hendrix.
Alex Marshall says, I'm a Bournemouth fan, and I hope he stays at the club, although the club have just had a bid from Fulham for him.
Is he playing? Is he playing much this season?
He's been injured. He's been in and out, I think. But
scored a couple in the FA Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored in the FA Cup, but he hasn't scored in... I think he did anyway. He hasn't scored in the league, has he? But Johnny A says, I've heard Adam Wingy has just pulled up outside USM Finch Farm.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It's like I say, normally, I'd be quite philosophical about it, going, we're all right in every area. It's just because we've let options go out the door. Not that, listen, Cenk Tosun is Cenk Tosun, isn't he? It's just that we are very light going to the end of the season. And that's a worry, without a shadow of a doubt. It's a worry. But
I hope you got a really nice tea tonight.
Yeah.
I really hope you have.
I will have.
I feel like, know what I feel like, right? I feel like Baz has just won the Bush Tucker Try, got 9 stars, right? And when he come back, he still found he had fish heads for tea. Yeah. I just feel like that's what I feel like he's come in, he was expecting a boss tea, and he's come back and found out it's just crap, or he doesn't like it. It's like everyone else in the camp's like, oh, that's boss, and Baz is like, I don't like that. Yeah. I've just done all that hard work for nothing. I feel like that's where Baz is right now.
I wish I'd probably feel better than do right now, to be honest, if I'd just done that. It's just, yeah.
Carl says...
Sorry, 1 second. Doesn't Bernard's agent have to take a lot of blame for this?
I don't know. Someone does. Whether it's his agent or whether it's the fixer in the middle.
Why did it fall through? Is it because they've got someone else, or is it because of the wages?
Don't know. Well, they did go and get someone else in the end, didn't they? So they brought someone from France today, which is why the deal fell through. But the deal obviously was falling through for them to go and buy someone from France, wasn't it? So, I don't know. If you're Bernard and you're on $100,000 a week, then why not just see it out until the summer and continue to take $100,000 a week?
And maybe go somewhere that you actually want to go.
Just sit on the bench at Everton, play the odd game, and off you go. Well, there you go. Make sure you get that like button hit. Matthias says only 412 likes from 1,000 people watching. Shocking.
That's abysmal.
It is. It is abysmal. People should be subscribing as well. 1,000 watching.
Maybe they're all already subscribing.
You say that, but I don't know. Luton Town are close to agreeing a deal for Tom Ince. Remember when everybody was looking at him? I was like, is he the right one? But he's now apparently on his way to Luton Town. Dele Alli will remain at Spurs despite Mourinho being happy for him to go. So, very interesting there. And, yeah, the Redmen very happy.
Yeah, well, Ball Street's just about to... Ball Street will be starting in 10 minutes. I can hear them warming up in the other room. Can hear them getting... They're all... See, you win a couple of games and you buy a couple of no marks. And see, that was what I was saying. If we'd won the last 2 games, we'd be sitting here going, doesn't matter, we're boss. But it's always what precedes it. If you go into... You go into a transfer. Who did we play when we went into the last transfer window?
We were winning every game, weren't we? So,
Were we though when we went into the where we winning
The last
when,
game before the transfer window opened was Burnley. And it
No,
was
no.
Ancelo's
No,
first
wasn't.
game.
What are you talking about? What are you
Oh, I
talking-
mean the summer transfer window.
no,
Yes.
no. Yeah, but it wasn't even Burnley when the transfer window opened, was
No.
it? Clearly it wasn't.
last
thought you
game
meant
was
last
West Ham.
January.
It was West Ham
What
at
are
home.
you talking
What
about?
are you talking about?
What are you
I
talking
thought you
about?
meant the last January transfer window.
And it still wasn't Burnley. What's he talking about? It was Man City.
No, they were on. Oh yeah, they were New Year's Day, weren't they?
You know what? This is why you're hidden behind the desk. Because if you can't provide actual real facts, you will remain hidden behind there.
I wasn't sure what you said.
Well, why did you give me an answer?
I thought you said
So, I mean,
Who
you
was the game
weren't
for the
sure
last
what
January
I said,
transfer
or
window?
You
The
were
Premier
sure.
League one was 2 days after we beat Brighton 4-2.
Was it Brighton?
Right, and then we had 2 weeks with the Championship, didn't we? Which took us after the derby.
Okay. No, I
And
was
we,
just
we
thinking.
still had hope that
just
we'd get
thinking-
Ismail Sarr, didn't we?
Just think. No, I was just thinking. That does help though. If you we won on Saturday, we wouldn't necessarily be sitting here. It's because you're coming off the back of a horrible defeat, and you're just thinking the world just see. Whereas again, people who work in football clubs can't think like that, can they? See, I was thinking we'd been beaten before the last transfer because I remember you were really disappointed that we hadn't got Josh King. Know what it was? Wasn't it the derby?
No, it was October the 5th was the Premier League one. That was the Monday after Brighton.
Okay. No, what it was? What it was because
Was it
when
the
Richarlison
Championship
got
one?
when Richarlison got sent off, that's when you were fuming that we never got it. Because I knew I can always calculate transfer deadline dates with you fuming.
Yeah.
So that one was because it just shut the night before, and Richarlison got sent off, and you were fuming saying we should have bought somebody. And it's like that now. It's like when you come off a game and you've been beaten in a horrible game, it will always make it 10 times worse.
But we have proven that we could have done with
No.
throughout even for this before this window. We had no Richarlison and then Dom was injured and things like that.
I absolutely agree.
But
I absolutely agree. I'm just
it
saying
is what it
it always makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah, oh God,
always.
don't just shadow. If we'd have, like you say, if we'd have won Saturday, you'd be thinking, looking at it going, would have been lovely to get an extra one in just for thingy. But the fact of the matter is, we still would have only had 2. We're still light. Yeah. People are saying we were light in when the summer transfer window ended, and another couple have gone out, so we definitely are light.
Right, 5 more minutes.
Yeah, that's 5 minutes. So get your likes in, get over 500 likes.
Get your question.
Get your question in.
See, you can send in a really easy question that will somehow stump Ned.
Hayden Evans-Wood said Tom Ince is not great. Played against, he used a different word. Played against him as a kid. He had pace and that was it. Head down, chase after it.
Why do you
Very
think the son
soft.
of Paul Ince somehow made it in football?
His dad was nice and openly admitted he'll get a career because of him.
There you go.
There you go. Someone else said he only made it.
Yeah, it is the Everton under-23
on.
side tonight. Some names to look out for. Hansen in goal.
Yeah.
John, right back. Small, left back.
Okay.
Quirk. How do you pronounce his name? Uzanides. Anderson. Everson. Price. Is a name for the future. Look out for this kid. Dead young lad. Got a great future ahead of him. Nathan Broadhead. And Yango and Hughes on the bench. Hunt, Barrett, Connor, Nage, whatever. Welsh.
Is Jagney on the bench? No.
Jagney, that's it. I couldn't pronounce it. Didn't know if you pronounced it funny or not.
Jagney.
Yeah, like
your man's Jan. Nee.
See, if I'd pronounced it the other way, you would have said something. Yeah, so there's no real. How old is Everson? Is he 17?
17.
Yeah. Who's Price?
Nathan, is it? I don't know.
Don't know.
Midfielder Price though, isn't he? Sure he's a midfield player. I don't really. It's
Nathan Broadhead. Nathan.
Tyler's playing now, isn't he? So
Yeah, he'll be on the bench.
That's something to watch, isn't it? On Yang, if you're going to watch any of it, it's for Tyler and Yango. He's on the bench. On Yango.
He's playing. Say he'll be on the bench on Wednesday.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't be throwing that towards me. Got their best players not even playing. Oh well. There you go. What can you say?
Yeah.
Something for people to watch tonight if they need a football fix, or something to take the mind off it.
Take the mind off Everton by watching Everton.
No, take your mind off the transfer window by watching.
Take your mind off Everton by watching
Sky
Everton.
Bernard's proposed move from Everton to Al Nassr has definitely fallen through.
Definitely.
Bournemouth forward Joshua King were one target they looked at.
There you go. Ned, any more before we go?
There's a few patrons, yeah.
Go on.
Carl says, it's disappointing we've not actually sold anyone. John Joe Kenny and Tolson on loans. We never seem to be able to get money and shot off any players. I think the plan is to loan John Joe out. He goes and has a blind at 5 months, and then Burnley come in and say, yeah, here's 10 million. Rather than sitting on the bench doing nothing, because we won't be playing him anyway, and then we get 5 million for him.
Any more? I mean, you're answering the questions. I mean, there's just no need for us.
Oh, well.
Forward that to Ped. Read that, mate.
I haven't got that email, so...
Well, I've forwarded it to you now. So
Okay.
just have a look at it right
Is
now.
it something to do with this?
To do with the other thing.
Go on.
It's some news for you. AJ No says, huge news coming out of Finch Farm. The head chef is spotted driving out of the Everton training ground. He could just be going home, but who knows? He could be moving to another kitchen. This is huge news from Everton Football Club, and we'll keep you updated. This is the biggest news off the window so far.
There you go. You can't argue with that, can you? You can't argue with that. Oh, well, let's do it. Let's do it.
What are we doing?
Finishing now.
Oh, okay.
We're going on
That's
to
what we were doing. I was like, what are we doing?
We're going on
Like
to
some-
YouTube.
What are we doing?
We're going on to
Surprise at the end.
There you
Ball
go.
Street.
That's it. Are we? No, are we? Don't know. Yeah, Ball Street, 7 o'clock. Make sure you get over there. It's powered by Snickers Protein.
Remember when I said Screech had
Yeah.
weeks to live, he's dead.
Oh, no.
Dustin Diamond.
Oh, that's awful. I mean, you've
44.
you literally give him weeks, and he was
They
dead in 10
said
minutes.
he's got weeks.
That's awful. I mean,
Lung
what a way
cancer.
to finish the show.
Jeez.
I mean,
That's sad, that, isn't it?
that's it. The breaking news.
Sad.
The breaking news.
Very, very sad.
Bad news, Baz. Breaks the news.
I
That
know,
Screech
that's-
from Saved by the Bell has died at 44. Lung cancer.
No age, that one.
Awful.
No age at all, is it? Really sad, that. Mick C says Costa and Perisic will make me happy tonight. Yeah, be incredible. Be incredible. But not happening. Moise Keane, well, John Lavelle says Moise Keane will not want to come back. End the story. If he was recalled, he wouldn't put a shift in for us. We won't see him in an Everton squad again. And Evertonian Luke says, do you think Bezic will be named in a 25-man squad now?
No, can't see it.
Fruin says 50k subscribers soon. Indeed,
Yeah, we're just about to get to 48,000. So by
Yeah.
the end of the season, we'll have 50.
if you all subscribe and get us to 50, we may do some sort of special.
Fair enough. But fair enough. I mean, he's threw it out there, hasn't he?
What's going on?
He's threw it out there. Why not?
We want them to be excited and join the channel.
Why not? See what happens as we move forward.
Making decisions without our knowledge beforehand.
Harvey
That's what
Armo
directors
says,
do.
I think we might end up with King. You never know. I mean, listen.
We're not getting anyone. Let's just go and watch. Watchdog, Neighbours, EastEnders, whatever else is on tonight. Don't watch Sky. It'll be pointless and it'll be bad for your health.
Sky Sports, Peter O'Rourke, Everton have made a last-ditch move for Bournemouth striker Josh King.
Have they though?
Have they?
Who's reported that?
Peter O'Rourke from Sky, apparently.
Big Roxy. You know Roxy, don't you?
Yeah.
There you go. Right.
That's a good way to finish
It
it,
is a good way.
anyway.
We'll see what happens. If it does happen, we'll report it.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Who knows? There's 4 hours left. Go over to the Ball Street channel, YouTube channel, and check it all out there now. Powered by Snickers Protein. If anything actually happens, we'll be on air. Don't you worry about it. We'll be live on it.
No.
Baz looks like he's off to get a spray tan and his tea, and he's just going to live the life of a celebrity or something.
Really?
Just to cheer you
I
up.
look as though, yeah, I just feel like going home, going to bed.
Go to bed.
I've had enough. I've had enough of this nonsense.
God, we
Oh my
froze. We froze. And I don't know
Good.
why.
What do you mean we froze?
You're in charge.
You're in
Camera
charge.
has
Look,
froze.
this is again another reason why you're behind the camera. What's that? What is that? You put a fake.
You put a
What are you
dressing
doing?
room up.
What are you doing? What have you done, man? There's still sound coming out though, isn't there?
Yeah, there's still sound coming out.
What have you done? Why have
Just
you broke it?
getting the camera back.
But why have you broke it?
I have not broke anything.
But why is the camera off? It shouldn't even.
There you
Oh
go.
my god! It's like
That's how to solve things in
amateur hour.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. 3 weeks. That. There you go. Right, we're out of
We're
here.
going.
We're
See you
out of
later.
here. Thank you for watching. Big thank you to Snickers Protein
Yeah.
for sponsoring the last couple of weeks. Big thank you for them.
Have one.
They're lovely. I can't have one. I'll have it tomorrow in my own time.
There you go.
Because tomorrow, don't want to ruin my tea right now. Yeah, check out Ball Street right now. Go over to the Ball Street YouTube channel if you want to continue. All the lads will be. You'll see us there in a bit as well. Thanks for watching. See you later.